This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. In this special bonus episode, we had the pleasure or displeasure of interviewing the one and only White Cloak child Byar. For those of you who don't know, there is a hashtag Twitter of Time on Twitter where there are many character accounts where people like to act as though the characters are on Twitter. Now, Child Byar is a character account on Twitter, but he is also somebody who has some acting and improv background. So, we interviewed the man behind the Child Byar Twitter account and had a lot of fun with it. And just a little bit of a heads up for anybody who is concerned about spoilers. In this bonus episode, we talk about things that happened all the way to the end of Book 1, The Eye of the World. So this definitely contains spoilers for all of Book 1. If you haven't read it, then go read it and come on back and listen. All right, so we are being joined from across the internet and across worlds a little bit. With one of the most viled Children of the Light. I know that Brett has, in fact, said it out loud that this is your least favorite person we've ever been introduced to in the series so far.
Yeah, so far in Book 1.
That's right. And I have actually diagnosed him as a psychopath with all of my diagnosing powers.
Yeah, you did do that.
As a non-professional person.
Yeah.
So, welcome to Child Byar.
Yeah, Child Byar, thanks for being on today.
Vile! You call me vile? Have you met the Shadow Spawn, Parens Battle Axe? You have met him! He's in the first book! I know this!
There are some accusations, yeah.
Well, to be fair, I haven't said anything about him. I'm just talking about you right now.
Psychopath. You're a psychopath. Psycho?
All right, so
this is ridiculous.
How do you feel, Child Byar, about people being very interested in things you have to say?
Everybody should be interested in what I have to say. I am preaching the word of the light. Lothar Mentalor wrote the book, The Way of the Light. And we preach that word every day. We spread the light wherever we go. We are the children of the light. So everybody should want to know what we have to say.
Okay.
And luckily, we were able to secure some questions from not just ourselves, but from outside viewers from Twitter that we're going to be posing to you today as well. So I hope you're prepared. Yes.
Yes, because we hear you're quite active.
Hashtag Twitter of Time. Those dark friends.
Those dark friends, okay. I feel like you're pretty loose with the accusation of dark friend here.
Are you kidding? You're probably a dark friend too, aren't you? I mean, you're probably an advocate for them, aren't you?
It's hard to say, but in today's interview, I'll be doing the question asking.
Yes, that's the biggest thing, is now we get to be the questioners today.
So I just want to open up with a relatively easy question for you here, Child Byar. But how would you describe having Jeffrem Bornhold as a commander? We've heard a little bit about Jeffrem. He seems like a pretty respected person. I just wanted to see what your opinion was of him and his son, Dane.
Jeffrem is a great man. He was always a great man. He's like a father to me. I love him. I respect him greatly. He has a keen military mind.
And his son, Dane?
Yes, Dane. I know Dane. Dane's a good lad. Good, strapping, strong, beautiful, handsome, lovely, amazing man. I call him my Danish, in fact.
Oh, that's nice. It sounds like you have a very lovely relationship.
Yes, because he's very sweet. He's very manly. He's got a square jaw, and I love it. I don't love him, though. He's just a friend. He's a good friend.
Gotcha. Okay, we can be on the same page with that one. No problem, bud. So, I got another question for you, and it's a little bit of a heavy hitter. There are some allegations that there are dark friends that have infiltrated the ranks of the Children of the Light. How would you respond to these rumors?
Baseless claims. Baseless claims. Who said this, huh? Who told you that there could be dark...
Oh, I am not revealing my sources.
Yeah, unfortunately we can't. But are you denying these rumors outright?
No, I'm saying they're bloody sheep swallop is what they are.
That's very strong. Very strong. Okay.
It's the truth. I mean,
so you don't think it's at all possible?
No. No, you've been smoking too much Two Rivers Tabak. It's ridiculous.
I heard that topic is quite strong, so.
It is. It is, especially from that land of shadow spawnery. The Two Rivers. I can't even begin to talk about that.
Well, I actually do want to talk about Two Rivers a little bit because you had been in charge of one of the prisoners, a young man from Emmons Field, and a young woman here. And I had a question about that situation. There was a scandal involved where it was suggested that you may have helped them escape from your camp. Now, can you speak to that?
What happened in reality is I was keeping the close guard on them day and night, making sure that this golden-eyed shadow spawn Parens did not escape. Did not escape. If he did, I would have killed him right then and there. I promise you that. But no, I kept careful watch over him and his little woman friend Egwene, and they would not have gotten away from me in any other circumstances until they had an entire army of dark friends descend upon our camp and hit me over the head and put me in the corner of the tent and steal them away. And if it wasn't for this army of dark friends, they would have been dead on my blade. I promise you that, sir.
Well, follow-up question to that, Child Byar. It's also stated in your philosophy that the light will always prevail over the shadow. So if you were keeping such a careful eye on these prisoners, how could the shadow, no matter how many there were, how could dark friends overpower you, Child Byar?
Sorry, I can't hear you. You broke it up a little bit. What was that again? One more time.
So there is a statement from your philosophy that the light will always prevail over the darkness.
Yeah, I can't. I can't. Yeah, I can't hear what you're saying.
Okay.
At all. Yeah. Next question.
It seems like there may be technical difficulties, but I also think you might just be avoiding the question.
Maybe I just can't hear dark friends. I don't know what to tell you about this, sir. But your question, that one question I couldn't hear. Everything else, fine. But you are a dark friend.
So let's move on then from that question. We'll take that as it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Whatever it was, it didn't happen.
So here's another question about the Children of the Light and the faction known as the Aes Sedai. And I know that you have a distaste for their
witchery. Call it what it is.
Some people say that the Children of the Light and the Aes Sedai share a common goal of defeating the Shadow. So would you and the other children ever consider siding with the Aes Sedai to fight the Dark One back if you were given the opportunity?
That's no. That's a no. That's a big old no. The reason for that is because there's no way to fight with those that serve the Shadow. They are Tarvalin witches.
Okay, so hold on there. So you do not agree that they share a goal with you of wanting to defeat the Shadow?
No, they don't. They want to control all male channelers for the one power. They want to control them, use them as their puppets, and so they can find the Dragon Reborn and try to, do whatever they want to do. But no, what they're trying to do is they're trying to put the Shadow in charge of everything and cover up the light. That's what they're trying to do because they are Tarvalin witches. They are witches, and they use witchery, and it's horrid. Disgusting.
So there is no enemy of my enemy is my friend. They are all
they
just your enemy
the Shadow,
then?
So they are my enemy.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Now, you've probably heard that some Aes Sedai have the ability to heal otherwise fatal wounds. Now, I know that you are not a fan of Aes Sedai because you believe they are dark friends, but would you ever be open to being healed by an Aes Sedai if it meant your life? Would you ever take that aid?
Would you ever be open to me shoving mud in your mouth until you just can't even breathe anymore? No, I don't want that vile...
I don't know how that would save my life. I don't want to be
infiltrated by the vile witchery that is Tarvalin witchery. I just don't want to be touched by it. That's disgusting. How could you even ask me that, sir? Dark friend.
Okay, good answer.
Well, it was an okay answer. But I mean...
Well, it's a hard pass, I think, on being healed.
So stemming off of this fact that you clearly have no love for the Aes Sedai, witches, as you call them, what are your thoughts of the men who protect them, their warders?
Witch lovers. They're just as vile as they are. They use their Tarvalin witchery to put the Shadow inside of their heads and make them love the Shadow. They're all dark friends, so it doesn't really matter to me. They're all nasty, vile, dark friends. You call me a vile child of the light?
They're all equally evil.
Yes. Well, yes. Of course, now I feel bad for them, because I know for a fact that before they probably weren't. They probably were okay guys. But then they said, oh, yeah, they fall into this witchery spell, and then they, abacazoo, kabadada, and then that happens.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah. They use their special little witchery.
That seems quite severe.
Yes. Sounds like you really know your stuff.
I do. I've studied Tarval and witchery in depth for years.
Now, it's also been said that the night of your prisoner escapes from your camp, that there was a warder involved who took you out and was able to help those prisoners escape. Now, how do you comment on
That
that?
doesn't surprise me. Dark friendery, of course. They were coming to bust their shadow spawn buddy out of jail. That's all it was. And it wasn't one warder, I promise you that. It was a whole army of dark friends and shadow spawn that descended upon our camp. Not just one.
So in a fair fight on one-on-one combat, who would win then, you or a warder?
Me. Light always prevails over the shadow. Duh. And I would take out at least 5 or 6 warders by myself.
Wow, 5 or 6.
Maybe
That's
7.
quite a feat.
The most I've done at once is about 8. Not to toot my own horn, but
Okay, well then this sort of leads me into, I heard that there was some discrepancies in how many wolves and humans were actually there present the night that you captured your prisoners. And I heard that Lord Bornhold actually called you out on maybe exaggerating these numbers.
now, yes. So Lord Bornhold, my Lord Captain Bornhold, he was a little mistaken that night, and that's fine. That's fine. There can be disagreements every once in a while.
Okay.
I mean, we're grown men. We're gonna
So
disagree.
your Lord Captain was incorrect?
Well, he wasn't there. I was there. I experienced it. I saw the entire army of dark friends and wolves descended upon our group of 3 men that night. They killed one of my men right in front of my eyes. And sometimes I can still with the dark friend killing him. It's just horrid. And there were 25 dark friends and at least 15 wolves. It was just.
It seems quite emotional for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, is this why you perhaps found that one specific wolf and skinned that wolf and turned it into a rug? Was it just because you were playing off your emotions there,
Or did you really feel like that was such a necessary act?
Yeah, it was necessary. I wanted to be warm at night and snuggle up with a good rug. So I took this Hopper now that he goes on Twitter and starts running his mouth all the time. Yeah, I love to snuggle with a wolf hide every once in a while. Who doesn't? I mean, especially that one with Hopper. He had some really warm fur. I promise you that.
Okay, I guess that answers that
Yeah,
question.
I've got to say, that was a pretty controversial move, Byar.
Okay, I'm going to say you're probably a dark friend and pretty controversial yourself. So I don't know what else to
All
say.
right, that seems to be your answer to just about everything.
Okay, dark friend.
Now, I have one a little bit impromptu question for you. The Children of the Light hold a view that no one is so deep in the shadow that they can't be brought back to the light. Do you believe that is in fact true, that anyone can come back to the light, even Aes Sedai and warders?
Now just pump the brakes a little bit there. Listen, Aes Sedai and warders have been heavily infiltrated by the shadow. There's no turning back for them. They are done. But just before that, they start to dabble in the one power. Just before that, maybe there's a chance. Just before the Tarvalin witches put their witchery on the warders' heads, maybe. But after that, they're lost. They're lost causes. They're a bunch of witches. Nobody wants them anyways.
Okay, so lost cause then.
So you do not abide by that philosophy.
No. Well, I do abide by that philosophy. Now, we have found dark friends who have been tried. And we've been able to, get them back over. Conversion therapy, if you will. And get them back onto the side of the light. And that's just great. It's great to welcome a brother back.
Okay, but in some specific cases, then probably not.
Probably not. But I mean, so
Okay.
I once had a bunkmate who we had found him looking at some racy paintings of a woman that he had obviously carnal thoughts for. We found him doing some dark friendery in his bed, and we got him away from it, and it was great. So once we made him a eunuch, he was the best child of light that you could ever find.
Okay. Seems like pretty severe consequences, but I mean, if that's what the light wills, I guess that's what you have to do, right?
Exactly. Okay, maybe you're. See,
Okay, Brett, whose side are you on here?
now look at you. Look at you. I'm starting to get you into the light back into the light because you were a dark friend a little bit ago. Now I can see some light in you.
Starting to sway. Okay, okay.
Okay, Brett.
Playing the Dark One's advocate here, so.
A little bit. So now we have some questions from some of our friends on Twitter who wanted to speak directly to you and ask you these direct questions now that they have the chance.
Dark friendry.
So, a very important question, I think, that our friend Sarah on Twitter asked. She asked, how many good women does it take to keep your whites so sparkly white?
That's a good question, honestly. When I go to the Dome of Truth, I don't go to the laundry area. That's a place for women, not for grown children to light. So, I think they employ around I don't know, 50 or so. I'm not sure, but we've got a lot of whites.
Okay, so quite a few women it takes to keep those cloaks
Yeah,
as
but I
white
mean,
as they
it's
are.
usually just covered in dark friend blood. That's about all there is on us ever. Maybe a little bit of dirt, but yeah, nothing too bad.
So I have a question coming to you from Senior Steeb. Would you rather fight one Trolloc-sized duck or 100 duck-sized Trollocs?
Very philosophical question.
I'd say a Trolloc-sized duck.
Oh,
Really?
that would not be my answer. That would be
Well-
terrifying. I don't like birds.
Then you're obviously a dark friend. But that's beside the point. For me, I got to think, you got all these little Trollocs that are going to be evil and going to swarm on top of me. Is it a shadow spawn duck or is it just a Trolloc-sized duck?
It's just a Trolloc-sized duck, but you have to fight it. Like
And
it's attacking
We're
you.
we're assuming it's fighting you back.
Yeah, I'd say a Trolloc-sized duck because I don't want a bunch of little Trollocs trying to crawl all over me. That's
Fair enough. Child Buyer, have you ever in fact fought any Trollocs?
hundreds. I've taken down slews of shadow spawn all the time.
And Murdral as well, perhaps? And
Oh yeah,
all the time?
yeah. I you should see my collection of Murdral eyes. I've got a bunch.
Oh, really? That's probably quite the collection.
It is. It is amazing. I kill shadow spawn about as often as I eat breakfast.
Now, is it because you are such an amazing fighter that you felt the need to take Parens Battle Axe for yourself?
Well, yes. See, at that time, I was not skilled very much with the axe, so I took it to practice a little bit. After about an hour of practice with it, I was a master at that point.
Wow. Okay, good then.
You learn quickly, it
Yeah.
seems. Yeah.
Very quickly, I learned so quickly that people can't even believe it. They think I'm a shadow spawn. And I'm like, no, I'm a child of the light. And then that's when I usually kill them.
Okay. Now we have a pretty good question here from Frenzy, and they want to know how many good people who walk in the light are too many to sacrifice when fighting the shadow.
Well, when it comes in the name of fighting the shadow, there's no amount of sacrifice what you have to sacrifice. You live with what you have to live with. Being a child of the light, you have to understand that you have to make sacrifices every.
It's a very ends justify the means situation then for you.
Always want to serve the greater good.
Okay.
Okay. Now we have some pretty serious questions here from Play Comics and Watt Pod Through. They want to know, do you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain? And also, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
The Dark One was imprisoned at the moment of creation. So no, I mean, of course not. Who would just dance with the devil? It's just weird. No, but as far as drinking pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, yes. Actually, story about me and my Danish. We were down at the this tiki bar in a state they call Florida, and we were down there and we were enjoying a nice pina colada. When all of a sudden, Florida, it starts raining one minute and stops the next, but it started just pouring down rain. So we just stripped off all of our clothes right there in the middle of the beach, and started running around screaming. It was the funnest time I've ever had in my entire life. Completely nude on the beach. People thought it was hilarious. And we were running around, smacking each other's butts.
It sounds like a great time. Yeah.
Whale of a time. Great time. I love him. I mean, I love him as a friend and a brother.
All right. Now, I've got to ask. It sounds a little bit like you have a more than a friendship with this Dane Bornhold.
Yes, because that's what brothers do. Brothers get naked together and explore their bodies.
And that's why you get naked and dance around on a beach together? Because he's like your brother.
Good to know. Good to know.
Good to know. Sounds a little bit mischievous to me. Sounds a little bit like something a dark friend might do. Getting naked with a brother? I don't know. That doesn't sound too clean to me.
No, that's completely part of the light. It has nothing to do with dark friendry. Don't you dare accuse me of such.
But now,
just pointing it out.
Before we offend Child Byar here, I think we should ask a serious question from Brian B. If you could disinvent one thing or eliminate one thing from your world, what would it be?
I can tell you one right now. The one thing. It would be Tarball and Witchery. I would get rid of that in a heartbeat.
Are you sure about that?
I thought you were going to go more broad with just dark friends. But then I guess if there were no dark friends, there would be no need for Children of the Light.
Exactly. But you get rid of Tarball and Witchery, at least we don't have to worry about these stupid witches running around doing all the bloody whatever they want to do. I just tell you, the witches, they just give me such a headache.
That's fair. It's a lot of work for you to deal with. I understand.
I'm under a lot of stress. You just don't even know.
All right. Well, I think that will just about wrap up our interview here. But do you have anything else you want to add? Just anything we didn't get to that you'd like to just sort of put out there? This is your chance. Get your story out there so that everybody knows.
Well, I just need to make it clear, very clear, that everybody should walk in the light. And what does that mean exactly? That means you do not follow the ways of the Dark One. You do not follow. If anybody tries to bring you over to the Shepherd of the Night, you tell them, no, sir. I walk in the light like a good one, like a good child of the light. And if you ever want good advice, just get onto my Twitter page, @ChildByar. You can find all you need to find there to walk in the light. You want to stay away from those like Tigraine Mantir. She, oh my lord, the biggest dark friend I have ever encountered in my entire life. Or you can check out @ChildBornhold. He is an amazing, great man. A good man with a firm buttocks. I mean, he just flusters me. He frustrates me so much. I just can't even begin to... Sorry, I need to take a breath. Getting a little hot under the collar. So...
That's okay.
That's
Catch
okay.
yourself.
That's
Yeah.
okay. We're just happy that you were able to join us and get, your side of the story out there. That's really what matters.
Set the record straight.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it because people don't understand how hard it is to fight the shadow, to fight those with golden eyes that think they're all special and everything, like they're going to do something with an axe or a hammer or whatever. I don't care. He's an idiot. Don't listen to him. Listen to the Child of the Light. We are the smart ones. We are brilliant. We invented everything. We did everything. We've done it.
Okay. Well, and Child Buyer, we like to end our episodes by saying that we think that you being on our show is definitely part of the pattern.
Well, thank you. The wheel weaves as the wheel wills, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's part of the pattern.
Thanks for listening to this bonus episode of The Wheel Weaves. If you're looking for more great bonus content, you can head over to patreon.com/The Wheel Weaves podcast and check out all of our extra episodes for our patrons with content like Q&As, outtakes, and discussions about more Wheel of Time stuff. Plus, we'd love to have your support, which helps us make even better content. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Danny and Brett, edited by Danny, produced by Danny and Brett with Ward Weisensell, Joe Lott, Passion Socks, and Multude. Music by Audionautics.com. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Twitter @The Wheel Weaves Podcast. We love interacting with our listeners. Plus, don't forget to rate, subscribe, and tell a friend about us because referrals really are the best compliment. We'd really love for you to come over and join our Discord channel for some spoiler or spoiler-free discussions. You can find the links at our Twitter page as well as on our Patreon page. Thanks again for tuning in because this really is part of the pattern now.